Konoha, not a six-path immortal, just powerful. Like, share and subscribe. Episode 121, Look at me dumping the pot. Orochimaru felt that Uchiha Shadow was poisonous the first time he came out to do a mission. He met Six Tails the second time he went out. He encountered two-tailed beasts, and he fought with Hanzo. Now he has not returned to Konoha. Eddie Tide Village came to perform the second mission, and I thought it would not be difficult. As a result, Mizukage and Reikage may appear. Mouth, Igong, do you need such a pit? If one is not careful, they are really likely to be wiped out here, okay? White eyes. At this time, the gossip on the side also stared wide-eyed, looking towards the distance. Uchiha Kage looked at the gossip thoughtfully. The purity of this guy's white eyes seems to be quite high. Although he is not a Hinata clan, his talent seems to be pretty good too. Although I can't see it clearly, it is very likely that I will encounter Mizukage and Reikage. After a long time, Bagua said, if it's Reikage and Mizukage, I suggest giving up the mission. White Fan was the first to speak. If it's just Mizukage and Reikage, with the lineup of these two teams, there is really a chance to face them. But don't forget that there are a large number of ninjas around Mizukage and Reikage, and these ninjas alone can surround them. They are not tail beasts in the face of the swarms of ninjas. It is really possible that they will be wiped out here. If it was a mandatory task, White Fan would never give up such a task, but to work hard for other villages, White Fan was not willing to work hard for other villages. I agree, Orochimaru said after pondering for a moment. In fact, Orochimaru doesn't particularly care about the Vortex family. Perhaps the Vortex family is indeed the most suitable family for the people, but their Konoha is not necessarily a Vortex family. Don't forget, there are still many people in Konoha who are hidden thousands of hands. Since the Whirlpool clan can do it, then the Chansho clan can also do it, right? The most important thing is that even if the Chansho clan fails, isn't there still the Uchiha clan? Course, the current Uchiha clan is a hidden danger for Konoha, but Orochimaru can see that Uchiha Kage will be such a hope, perhaps in the near future, with Uchiha Kage's reputation in the Uchiha clan is getting more and more popular. Gao, the problems of the Uchiha family will not become Konoha's old-fashioned problems. At that time, is the problem of the tailed beast still a problem? It's a big deal. Let the Uchiha clan be the tailed beasts? By the way, there is also the Hyuga clan. Shiranyan and Samsara I are also known as the three major pupils. It seems to be the boast of the Hyuga clan after all. There are 6 immortals in Samsarayan, and Uchiha Madara in Shiranyan. The existence of strong, relatively speaking, the Hyuga clan does not have any special strong. But what if the family can restrain the tailed beast? Dead Taoist friend is not a poor Taoist. Orochimaru said that he is not particularly concerned about this task. Jiraiya is a little silent. He is a kind person with a weak side in his heart. He can't sit back and watch those innocent people be slaughtered. But Jiraiya also knows that with his own strength, he can't do anything at present. If you act rashly at this time, you will not only be unable to solve the predicament, but may even implicate others. I'll go, Uchiha Kage said after pondering for a moment. I'll go see if I can rescue some people. You all leave here first. Of course, the distance should not be too far, otherwise, I can't perceive the Flying Thor's mark. Uchiha Kage left a Flying Thunder God mark on the ship. Is not only a command red envelope, but also a lot of ordinary red envelopes in the Vortex village. Uchiha Kage decided to go and take a look. You don't need to take risks, Orochimaru quickly reminded. On the opposite side are 2 existences comparable to teachers, and there are hundreds of Yunren and Wuren. In Orochimaru's view, such a lineup, not to mention his own teacher, even Senju Hashirama may fall in front of such a lineup here. Uchiha Kage's strength is good, but in the past, it is too dangerous. There may not even be a chance to use the Flying Thunder God technique. You can do something, you can't do something. Uchiha Kage shook his head slightly, and said with a serious look, Grandma Mito has taught me so much, even if it's just for her, I have to go ahead, not to mention, and Kushina, a man do something or not? Such words, Orochimaru and the others said that they had never heard of it, but it seemed to make sense. Have you decided yet? Orochimaru said a little hesitantly. Yeah. Uchiha Kage 03 said firmly, and he took another seal and turned into Hanzo. This scene made the corners of other people's mouths twitch. You actually turned into Hanzo at this time? Do you want Hanzo to take the blame? At this time, Hanzo is fighting in the land of the land, and it is impossible to appear here. Orochimaru still reminded. Then this. Uchiha Kage then turned into Danzo again. But this Danzo's situation was a little different from before, with bandages tied around his right hand and right eye, somewhat like the future Danzo, but much younger. Please ask for flowers, ask for a monthly pass, ask for an automatic subscription. Oh, so much I love you. Episode 122, There is nothing wrong, everything is the pot of my group. If you appear in the appearance of Shimura Danzo, I'm afraid you will attract the attention of Reikage and the others just after you appear, and then they will besiege you. Orochimaru couldn't help but reminded. For Shimura Danzo, Orochimaru doesn't have a good impression either. This guy always likes to trick people, and even tries to arrange for people to monitor him. Haha. If it wasn't for his own strength, he would have taken action long ago. He, Orochimaru, is not so easy to be manipulated. However, at this time, using Danzo's image to attract hatred will not only fail to save people, but will make Danzo hate Uchiha Kage. Hee, since I did this, I naturally have my own plans, maybe my uncle Danzo has to thank me. Uchiha Kage showed a playful smile, matching Shimura Danzo's face, giving an extremely sinister feeling. Multiple shadow clones. Immediately afterwards, Uchiha Kage created hundreds of 12 shadow clones, and each of these shadow clones was the style of the root. Your shadow avatar looks very similar, but the shadow avatar is very fragile, they are easy to see, but it may affect you. The technique of multiple shadow avatars is not particularly difficult to learn, but it is also a well-deserved ban on Konoha. This technique is just a backlash that should disappear from the clone, and it is not something that ordinary people can bear. Seeing Uchiha Kage splitting hundreds of shadow clones at once, Orochimaru and the others not only sighed Uchiha Kage's Chakrado, but were also worried about Uchiha Kage's situation. I understand that I often use the technique of multiple shadows to practice. In this case, my practice time is several times that of other people. Of course, Uchiha Kage is just talking nonsense, he rarely practices like this, just need to make some excuses for myself. Sure enough, after hearing Uchiha Kage's words, others were more or less envious, but also a little shocked. Uchiha Kage's strength was also hard-worked at such a young age. I am afraid Uchiha Kage, it was also a huge effort. I'll go first, you guys leave a distance first, I'll try to treat a few more people. Uchiha Kage told Orochimaru and the others, I don't know if I can get into Danzo this time. As for whether this will have any impact on Konoha, they don't have much doubt about this after all. The war has already started after the Vortex village is gone, neither Wuren nor Yunren will be able to be idle. It is very likely that they will declare war on Konoha, especially Kirin. They have already arranged for the Six Tails to enter Konoha, saying that they have no idea about Konoha. If you tell Danzo, Danzo will not believe. What's more, Konoha itself is an ally of Vortex village, and it is natural to appear here to a certain extent. Reikage and Mizukage attacked Vortex village, but they are still beating Konoha's face. Little ones, rush for me. Let them know that Danzo is amazing. Uchiha Kage said in a cold tone. Everything is for Danzo-sama. Barbara rushing. No, it's Danzo-sama rushing. Grab Lolita, occupy the widow, and from now on the surname of Uchiha village is Shimura. Several clones of Uchiha Kage rushed towards Uchiha village in a mighty manner. Even at sea, for these shadow clones, it is like walking on the ground. Orochimaru, Baya, and the others couldn't help but twitch when they saw this scene. Why do they feel that Uchiha Kage is doing something wrong? However, as Uchiha Kage said, this doesn't seem to be harmful to Konoha. They Konoha have never been afraid of war. Of these shadow clones quickly attracted the attention of Yunren and Wuren. They did not expect that at this time, someone would dare to save people under their noses. It would be lifeless. Lord Reikage, it seems to be Danzo. A team leader below Reikage also reminded the third generation Reikage. Danzo? The third generation of Reikage narrowed his eyes. He was still very concerned about Danzo, not because Danzo's strength was strong enough to daze Konoha, apart from Uzumaki Mido and Sarutobi Hizen, as I can't see it. Danzo, he has seen that the valet next to the second generation Hokage at the time, among those people, is not strong, not comparable to Sarutobi Hizen and a member of the Uchiha clan. 353, however, Danzo is really good at using intrigue and tricks, and he often disgusts them in some things. This is what Danzo is most concerned about. However, didn't it mean that Danzo was injured in a sneak attack by IWA shinobi some time ago? Why is it here? Could it be that they still have a conspiracy? Konoha should also want to deal with the Whirlpool family, but that is more of a beating. They don't want to see the Whirlpool family annihilate. The third generation of Water Shadows, however, came up with a method to unlock the barrier of the Vortex clan. Such a method may not be the ability of the third generation of Water Shadows. Source is likely to be from Konoha and Danzo, so next, they are likely to shoot themselves. The three generations of Reikage feel that they are simply a witty group. Do you really think that he is muscular and is just a fool? He looked at the three generations of Water Shadows with suspicious eyes, just in time to meet the suspicious eyes of the three generations of Water Shadows. Please ask for flowers, ask for a monthly pass, ask for an automatic subscription. Oh, so much I love you. Episode 123, The Real Water Shadow. Not only the third generation of Reikage who is suspicious of the third generation of Water Shadow, the third generation of Water Shadow is actually also suspicious of the third generation of Reikage. The information about the war between the Land of Earth and the Land of Rain was the first from the Land of Thunder. The information that Konoha would not come before may also be problematic. Konoha and Yunren have joined forces and want to take it down their water country? This possibility does not seem low at all. A lot of distance between the Land of Water and the Land of Thunder. It is actually quite convenient to communicate through ships. It is definitely not a good thing for them. The two shadows are also vigilant at this moment. Some are vigilant about the group, and some are vigilant about each other. They are like this, but the side of the Vortex village is excited. That's great. Konoha's people have come to rescue us. Let's go out. Uzumaki Zai, who had been stuck behind, laughed loudly and said to the only 100 remaining members of the Uzumaki clan. At this time, he no longer has any reservations, and he personally took the lead in the charge. If at this time, he still can't grasp the opportunity, he may really die here. These Mist and Yunren are simply crazy, even the elderly and children are not spared. Obviously it's for extermination. Danzo, what are you doing here? Laying glanced at Danzo, who was at the forefront, and said in a deep voice, I've been doing things all my life, so why do I need to explain to others? Tuanzang sneered, it's time to act. Reikage and Mizukage groaned inwardly, and became more and more vigilant in their hearts, and they might have been tricked this time. As everyone knows, Uchiha Kage didn't know at all that they were vigilant at the moment, he was just talking to his shadow clone. The shadow clones who heard his words also rubbed the spiral pills and attacked the nearby Yin ninja or mist ninja. In addition, the surrounded Vortex clan began to rush out desperately of encirclement. At this moment, there is a tendency to be broken. Danzo. Although the 3 generations of Reikage were scolding Danzo, he himself attacked Uzumaki's eye. The most important purpose of their line was not to fight Konoha, but for Uzumaki A family, and their sealing technique. As for the conditions of the 3 generations of water shadows, the 3 generations of Reikage don't care, it is the most important thing to grab them. Humph, the injured waste is not at peace either. Sandai Shueing snorted coldly, began to form seals in his hands, and ran towards Danzong. Water escape, the technique of water dragon bullets. Because of the relationship in the sea, the power of the water escape of the 3 generations of water shadows is also stronger than that on land. Even Uchiha Inrua. Water resources, : Source, group. 6, 5, 6 to 6 1, 8, 8, 9, 6. Preparation, use Zhong. To turn. Group, 7, 6, 6 foot 0 1, 8, 3 2 0 was also surprised when he saw this, and sure enough, with the water shadow the seamount battle was a mistake. However, if the water escapes, it is not impossible for me. His hands were not idle either, and he quickly said in a knot, water escape, water dragon bomb. A huge water dragon condensed in front of him, directly strangling with the cold water dragon. The same ninjutsu seems to have similar power. What only makes the 3 generations of water shadows feel shameless is that their water dragon bombs have used 30 or 40 marks. As a result, they only used 5 seals. Mouth, do you want to bully honest people like this? There has always been such a saying in the ninja world. In fact, the 2nd generation of Hokage and Chisho Tobarama is the master of Mizuden, and he is the most suitable position for Mizukage. For this point, the 3 generations of water shadows have always been unwilling, but seeing that the disciples of Chansho Tobarama, the technique of water dragon bombing, can be comparable to himself. How far has Chansho Tobarama reached? And this kind of a few seals can use the water dragon bombing technique. He is really envious. As everyone knows, Uchiha Kage is also horrified at this moment. He also did not expect that the 3 generations of water shadows would be so powerful. You must know that the water dragon bullet technique he used is not an ordinary water dragon bullet technique. Not just Chansho Toy, the one that has been modified in time is still the water dragon bullet technique of the Immortal chakra. To be precise, it should be magic water dragon ball technique. The result turned out to be just a tie with the opponent's water dragon bullet technique, which made Uchiha Kage feel that there is no vacancy under his reputation. Nothing that can become a shadow is simple. Of course, this is also related to the degree of his own ninjutsu practice and the lack of cultivation of attribute chakra. The same ninjutsu has different effects in the hands of different people. It's like Naruto's early spiral pill, although he also mastered the spiral pill, but the power is really not very good, almost never kills people. Well, Naruto doesn't seem to have killed a few people from beginning to end. Ninjas do this, and there is no one else. But Spiral Maru is in the hands of Namake's Minato and Jiraiya, and it is a ninjutsu of the level of a big killer. Obviously, their control of the spiral pill is much stronger than that of Naruto. Uchiha Kage's system can also allow Uchiha Kage to learn ninjutsu in an instant, but after that, to improve his power and proficiency, Uchiha Kage needs to cultivate himself. However, compared to normal people, he is already taking shortcuts. Please ask for flowers, ask for a monthly pass, ask for an automatic subscription. Oh, so much I love you guys. Episode 124 _ Huh? This kind of feeling. Uchiha Kage then looked at the 3 generations of water shadows not far away and surprised. This person has a very familiar smell, which is the breath of Sharknian. A winky face, damn, cheap son, no, Madam Ban, you are playing so much. He even directly controlled the 3 generations of Muzukage. Do you want to play so big? After all, they are also the shadows of the 5 great countries. However, Mist Ninja Village seems to be a bit tragic. The 3rd generation of Mezui Shadow is controlled by Uchiha Madara, and the future 4th generation of Mezui Shadow will also be controlled by Uchiha Obito. It is indeed a matter of course that the Uchiha family will be destroyed in the future. After all, this family is full of neuropathy, and if it becomes extreme, it is very likely to cause trouble in the ninja world. However, at this time, Uchiha Kage is more concerned about Uchiha Madara. If the 3rd generation of Mezui Kage is controlled by Uchiha Madara, it seems to be a normal thing that the 6 tails were controlled before. With Uchiha Madara's ability, it is easy to control the 6 tails, and I don't know whether Uchiha Madara has awakened the Samsara Eye, and whether the Samsara Eye has been sent out by 293. In the same way, will he be targeted by Madara Uchiha? After all, his strength is still a little worse. Uchiha Kage stared at the 3 generations of Mizukage who were not far away and rushed towards him, and the 3 generations of Mizukage did not have the slightest cowardice for a while. The danzo that Uchiha Kage had changed and the 3 generations of Mizukage fought in a difficult situation points. Yunren and Wuren were stunned when they saw this scene. They didn't expect that this guy, Danzo, could be like this with the 3rd generation Meizhuiying. This is still Danzo after being injured. If Danzo was in its heyday, would it still be worth it? It was only very soon that someone noticed something was wrong, and Uchiha Kage's shadow clone was broken up. This is not Anbu, but a shadow clone? A Yunren exclaimed, so these Anbu? Others also narrowed their eyes and looked at Uchiha Kage's shadow clones when they heard the words. To be honest, they were a little unacceptable. The existence that had been at war with themselves for so long turned out to be shadow clones. Aren't you Danzo? Suddenly, the 3 generations of Shueying said coldly, Tanzo can only escape from the wind, and there is no such good water escape. It seems that you know quite a lot. Yukihage said meaningfully, unfortunately, you know too much. After speaking, Uchiha Kage's figure disappeared in front of the 3 generations of Mizukage and entered the interior of the Vortex village. It turned out that in the previous melee, the shadow clone of Uchiha Kage had already come to the Vortex village, and with the mark of the Flying Thunder God, Uchiha Kage easily came to the location of the clone. This is the Shunjutsu? No, it's the technique of Flying Thunder God. Mizukage of the 3rd generation recognized this ninjutsu at a glance. This is the 2nd generation Mizukage. It is the signature ninjutsu of the 2nd generation Megumi Hokage. Unexpectedly, among Konoha, someone has already mastered this ninjutsu. If he didn't know, Chansho Tabama's water escape was not so weak. At this moment he would have doubts whether the danzo in front of him was not pretending to be dead. Well, that's right, the water escape between Chansho Tobarama has not been reduced to the point where it is comparable to the 3 generations of water shadows. What a fast speed. The 3 generations of Reikage attacked Uzumaki Sawano while paying attention to the traces of Uchiha Kage. When he learned that these Anbu were not real people, but shadow clones, he was also shocked. Being able to separate so many shadow clones, the opponent's chakra seems to be a bit terrifying. On the other hand, Uzumaki's heart was bleak when he saw Konoha's reinforcements before. He was relieved with Konoha's help. There should be no problem in repelling Yunren and Wuren when the time comes. Find him with the help of Konoha and the Land of Earth. The Vortex clan can still be rebuilt. At that time, he was still the emperor. As for joining other villages, Uzumiyatsui is unacceptable if he goes to other villages. He has to rely on others, and he doesn't have much power. It's just that these guys are just shadow clones. What else can they do? It's too late to go back now, and the strength of the 3 generations of Reikage is so strong that he can't beat him at all. Uchiha Kage came to the side of a little girl from the Uzumaki family who was protected by adults, grabbed the other party's shoulder, and disappeared directly in place. Less than 10 seconds later, he appeared here again. Be careful, don't let him meet the people of the Whirlpool family, otherwise he can use the technique of Flying Thunder God to take away. The 3rd generation of Water Shadow said quickly, Liaoying kills, otherwise nothing will be left. 3rd generation of Reikage heard the words, and his eyes were also full of ruthless colors. Did he save people under his own eyelids? Shimura Danzo, I remember you. Of course, he also knows that this guy is not a real Danzo, but just remember Danzo. Come on, take me away quickly. Uzumaki Sawano said quickly, I am the patriarch of the Uzumaki clan, and the nephew of Uzumaki Mito. Hurry up and leave me. Facing Uzumaki Sawano like this, Kage Uchiha's heart is also full of disdain. This guy, who is still the patriarch, has great ambition and talent. Please ask for flowers, ask for a monthly pass, ask for an automatic subscription. Oh, so much I love you. Episode 125, The Vicious Reikage. Idiot. Uchiha Kage secretly cursed in his heart that Uzumaki's should be one of the culprits of the demise of the Uzumaki family, right? It is precisely because of such cleverness that the relationship between Konoha and the Uzumaki family is getting worse and worse. Grandma Mito is also worried and annoyed by the affairs of the Uzumaki family. Such a person, what do you save yourself? If it is really rescued, it will be a huge hidden danger. Might as well save a few more children back. Oh, by the way, it seems that I heard Kushina say that her father is the current village head of the Vortex village, which means that this big clever is actually the father of the Whirlpool Kushina. No wonder Kushina usually doesn't seem to be very smart. Anyway, Kushina doesn't feel very good about her father, and Shaonizi is also worried that her father sent her to Konoha. Although in Konoha, Kushina had a good life and made friends, but after all, she was sent here saying that she didn't care. That would be a lie. Uchiha Kage glanced at Uzumaki's eye, and said lightly, you have too much chakra, take you away, too much consumption. Mouth, /1 by 1, the consumption is too high, so you can take me away. What are you doing to save other children? Where do they have the importance of my coming? It's not that no one wants to stop Uchiha Kage, it's really that Reikage is dealing with Uzumaki Sawano, and the masters of the Uzumaki clan Mizukage has been pulled out of the village by Uchiha Kage before just come. Relying on this time period, Uchiha Kage also took 5 children away by relying on the technique of Flying Thunder God. Just stare at those kunai for me, and once he appears, attack immediately. Seeing that the other party was attacking Uzumaki's eye while he was attacking, the 3 generations of Reikage cursed inwardly. Sure enough, Mizukage was a waste, and he was furious. Yunren said, I haven't caught many children yet, but they took 5 of them directly. These children were all prepared to be taken away by the 3rd generation of Reikage and bred to the Kingdom of Thunder. Damn, Danzo old dog. Reikage also became more and more angry, and his body exuded an extremely violent chakra breath. When Uchiha Kage appeared again, he felt a sense of crisis, and he quickly raised his arms, blocked in front of him. Then he felt a huge fist hit his arm, and the huge force directly knocked Uchiha Shadow at least 10 meters away. It hurts. Even Uchiha Kage looked cautiously at the 3rd Reikage, who attacked him again. Fortunately, he has entered the immortal mode, otherwise, the 3 generations of Reikage just now are enough to seriously injure himself. In this era, no one is simple. On the head of the 3rd generation of Reikage, there is also an instruction red envelope. Defeat the 3rd generation of Reikage through physical techniques. Well, this command red envelope is difficult for him at present. At least now, he can't defeat the 3 generations of Reikage in physical skills, not to mention that there are so many people here. He has not reached the level of Uchiha Madara and Senju Hashima. Otherwise, under such circumstances, it's hard to beat the 3rd Reikage, let alone using taijutsu. However, this command red envelope cannot be opened, so other ordinary red envelopes are different. Uchiha Kage quickly avoided the attack of the 3 generations of Reikage, and then ran towards the location of an ordinary red envelope. And in that position, there happened to be 2 young people from the Vortex clan at this moment. They had no combat power, and Yunren deliberately stayed. He's going to take those 2 away and kill me. 3 generations of Reikage said while chasing after Uchiha. His speed is very fast, but not much faster than Uchiha Kage. The same as the Lei Dun Chakra mode. Uchiha Kage's Lei Dun Chakra mode mainly focuses on speed and a certain degree of defense. This is very similar to the future 4 generations of Reikage in terms of strength. Of course, it has also been enhanced but not too much. Of the 3rd generation of Reikage has improved in terms of speed, but it is more of a blessing in terms of attack power and defensive power. 0 Therefore, although the speed of the 3rd generation Reikage is now faster than that of Uchiha in the ordinary immortal mode, it is not as fast as Water, Resources, Group, 6:5, 6, 6, 18, 8, 9, 6. Preparation, Use, Middle, Turn, Group 7, 6, 6, 0, 1, 8, 3, 2, 0 is less. Hearing the words of the 3 generations of Reikage, Yunren did not hesitate much at the moment, and directly killed the 2 members of the Vortex clan. This also made Uchiha Kage's heart sink. Sure enough, Reikage is not a good thing, of course. He died very heroically, but he was also very despicable and cruel. Ding, congratulations to the host for opening the red envelope and obtaining my Sakurajima's bunny suit. Where to enter the invisible state and block others' perception. This thing seems pretty good. Pity, this thing, I can't use it myself. Why don't I give it to Mikoto in the future? Thinking of Uchiha Mikoto wearing this kind of clothes, Uchiha Kage said that he was still a little excited. After opening this red envelope, Uchiha Kage went in the direction of another red envelope, which also made the faces of the other Uzumaki clansmen change drastically. Kill the killer. Please ask for flowers, ask for a monthly pass, ask for an automatic subscription. Oh, so much I love you. Dead. Episode 126, mission complete? Don't come here. The people of the Uzumaki family kept shouting in their hearts, but the current Uchiha Kage is fatal to them. Yunren and Wu-Ren, when they start their hands, will not show the slightest softness, even in the face of old and weak women and children. They know that if these people leave, they will hate them even if the possibility of them having the ability to retaliate is very small in the future. Once they retaliate, it will be bad for Yunren and Wu-Ren. Ding, congratulations to the host for opening the red envelope and obtaining the skill paralysis powder. Do you want to learn? 5. A winky face, it turned out to be a Pokemon skill? For 90, but this skill seems to be pretty good, at least not completely useless. Ding, congratulations to the host for opening the red envelope and getting a Firestone. Katie can evolve. I don't know how Katai Dog can grow in the end if it can be comparable to the movie level. Then when you despise people in the future, you can also say that you are not as good as a dog. It's interesting to think about it. Ding, congratulations to the host for opening the red envelope and getting a space ring of 100 cubic meters. Another space ring, it seems that I can upgrade it. The previous space ring is not as big as the space ring I just got, but it can be replaced a space ring too. Ding, congratulations to the host for opening the red envelope and getting a Pikachu elf egg. After Katie, Pikachu's elf egg appeared, which seems to be very good. Ding, congratulations to the host for opening the red envelope and obtaining the Een seal. Do you want to study? Een seal? Mouth, people, scholar, what do I want this thing for? Even if you want to learn, is it not good to go directly to Tsunade to learn? Why open red envelopes to get, and then learn? Ding, congratulations to the host for opening the red envelope and getting 300 detonating talismans. 300 detonating talismans can also play a role. It is impossible to blow up the third generation of Reikage, but others can't bear the power of so many detonating talismans. Soon, the ordinary red envelopes in the village of Edi Village were all opened by Uchiha Kage, but at this time, there were only less than 10 Uchiha Kage's shadow clones left. The number of people left in the Whirlpool family is even smaller. Apart from the dying of the Whirlpool's eye, 3 or 4 women and children were left behind. Of course, during the period of opening the red envelopes, Uchiha Kage took away 4 people from the Uzumaki family, 2 little boys, 2 girls in their teens, plus the Uchiha Kage who had been taken away by Uchiha Kage before. The Whirlpool family will not be destroyed. Now Uzumaki Mito is still alive, as long as she thinks. It is not a problem to live for more than 10 years. After more than 10 years, Uzumaki Kushina has also grown up. Whirlpool clan has fallen. It does not have no chance at all in the future. It may not have the chance to come back again. Uchiha Kage glanced at Uzumaki's eye. A stern look flashed in his eyes. Why is this guy not dead yet? If Reikage and the others really take Uzumaki's eye away, then they can not only have a large number of sealing techniques from the Uzumaki family, but also have some other effects. Uzumaki Sawano is Kushina's biological father. When Uzumaki Kushina becomes a 9-tailed man in the future, wouldn't he be threatened? Wait, no, it's an uncertain thing whether Uzumaki Kushina will become the 9-tailed people's Julie after that. He also left with a few people from the Vortex clan. Uzumaki Kushina is very close to him, and it is hard to guarantee that some people in Konoha don't want to let Uzumaki Kushina become a human pillar. On Kushina's head, there is an instruction red envelope. Reikage, Mizukage, this time Vortex Village was destroyed by you, but you have to be careful in the future. I am everywhere. Uchiha Kage said with a playful smile on his face. When everyone's eyes were attracted by him, a shadow clone ran into the clan of the Vortex family with a space ring, took away a lot of useful things, and also set up a lot of traps. What he has to do. The only pity is Uzumaki's eye. You. Lei Ying's face turned dark when he heard the words. He had planned to take many people away, but now there are only so many people left. As for the Whirlpool's eye, he can't die for the time being. At least he can't die until all the things he knows are drained. As for these kids, Reikage didn't know if these kids were good enough to experiment with human power. It turned out that this time, it was Konoha who got the most benefit. Remember, you'd better keep your eyes on him. 57. After saying this, Uchiha Kage took a deep look at Shuei, and then left directly. Watching Uchiha Kage leave, neither Reikage nor Sukage went after him. That kind of space ninjutsu, there is no special enchantment or sealing technique. It is almost impossible for them to stop it. Wait. Uzumaki Sawano was worried that Uchiha Kage would come to save him, but when he saw Uchiha Kage leaving, he was completely flustered. If he was taken away by Reikage, would his life be better? Please ask for flowers, ask for a monthly pass, ask for an automatic subscription. Oh, so much. I love you guys. Episode 127 Vortex Village, destroyed. Uzumaki's eye doesn't want to go to the Land of Thunder, but to Konoha, where there are Uzumaki Mito to take care of him, as well as some clansmen when they grow up. He is still the patriarch of the Uzumaki clan, and he can let them take care of him. But once he is captured, the ghost knows what problems he will face at that time. The best outcome is probably to be kept in captivity as a breeding pig. It's just that Uzumaki Sawano didn't expect that just after Uchiha Kage left, a kunai was directly inserted into his chest. Even if the vitality of the Uzumaki clan was strong, after being pierced by the kunai, he lost his life. What are you doing? Sandai Reikage stared at Sandai Mizukage in dissatisfaction. Uzumaki's eye, but he deliberately stayed. But now he was killed by the 3 generations of Mizukage. How can Reikage accept this? The patriarch of the Vortex clan is still alive, so it is inevitable that there will be some problems anyway. The secret techniques of the Vortex clan are preserved in the clan land. Shuei said disapprovingly. 12. Although they will attack Konoha together later, but they are also competitive with each other. Uzumaki's eye has a large number of secret techniques from the Uzumaki family, which cannot be handed over to Reikage. Hopefully. Lei Ying took a deep look at Shuei, but didn't say much. Reikage naturally understood why Mizukage did this, but he didn't say much after all. They both had calculations with each other. Not only Shuei is calculating himself, but he is also calculating Shuei. Search Wuchao village. Immediately afterwards, Reikage also said to Yunren, you guys go too. The 3 generations of water shadows also said to the mist ninja on the side. When his subordinates went to search the Vortex village, Lei Ying also said to Shuei in a deep voice, Shuei, do you have a way to deal with the flying thunder god technique? He is still haunted by the previous Uchiha Kage, so it is too dangerous for people who come and go without a trace, and who can even continue to assassinate. Such people must be eliminated. Yes. Shuei's eyes flickered a few times and said, however, the restrictions are very large, and it takes a lot of effort to arrange them. That guy, you must get rid of it. Reikage gritted his teeth, but at this time, there was a boom rumble explosion in the distance. This also surprised the eyes of Reikage and Sukage, and they quickly looked over and found that a large number of explosions broke out in the Vortex village. This is the detonating talisman? The damned Vortex family. It will not rest even after death. The 3 generations of Reikage had no doubt that these detonating talismans were made by Uchiha Kage. The other party hadn't brought so many detonating talismans before. Judging from the scale of the explosion, there were at least several thousand detonating talismans, which was a considerable amount. It can only be said that this is the backhand of the Whirlpool family, and even if they die, they are not willing to let them succeed. At this time, Reikage had a bad feeling that this time, their action failed. Of the explosion made Uchiha Kage and the others heard clearly even more than 10 kilometers away. It seems that the detonating talisman is working. Uchiha Kage's face showed a slight smile. I found a lot of detonating talismans in a warehouse of the Uzumaki family before, and I am not sure if it is still effective, but now it seems, the effect is not bad. Well, it is also a good thing for us not to let them get the inheritance of the Vortex clan. Orochimaru glanced at the 9 Vortex clan who were rescued by them, 6 women and 3 men, 2 of whom were slightly older, more than 10 years old. The others are children, and they are not very old. I believe it will not take long for them to be integrated into Konoha. As for the inheritance of the Uzumaki family, they are not too worried after all. Uzumaki Mito is still there, and that is the master of the sealing technique of the Uzumaki family. There are even legends that Uzumaki Mito was second only to Senju Hazuma and Uchiha Madara back then, especially after he became the 9-tailed man Juli. Even the second-generation Hokage Senju Tobarama was not Uzumaki Mito opponent. I believe that it will not be long before the Vortex family will become the Vortex family of Konoha. Huh? Uzumaki Sawano is dead. Suddenly, Uchiha Kage said, "Who did it?" 890 Jirai was also curious, and he was also quite dissatisfied with Uzumaki's eye. If it weren't for that guy's stupidity, the Vortex clan wouldn't be like this. I don't know, it should be Shueing. Liang was by the side of Uzumaki's eye before. If he wanted to kill him, he would have killed Uzumaki's eye long ago. From this perspective, it should be Shueing killed. After thinking for a moment, Uchiha Kage also said, "Life is so fragile. Even a family as strong as a whirlpool is almost a thing of the past." Orochimaru said with a sigh. This sentence made everyone silent, and the Vortex village was gone. In order to prevent such a tragedy from falling on Konoha, they needed to work harder. By the way, tell the teacher the information here. Uchiha Kage said with a sigh. He was thinking about whether he should get a psychic beast. In this case, it would be more convenient to connect. Please ask for flowers, ask for a monthly pass, ask for an automatic subscription. I love you. Episode 128, Hiruzen Sarutobi's most respected person. Toads, slugs, and snakes are currently the most outstanding psychic beasts in the ninja world. These 3 psychic beasts, theoretically speaking, Uchiha Kage has a chance to obtain them. For the vast majority of people, these psychic beasts can improve a lot of combat effectiveness. Uchiha Kage does not need psychic beasts to improve his strength. Even if it is a huge opponent, Susanoo can face it. In the same way, Uchiha Kage can also let the tailed beast become his own psychic beast, which I am afraid that the tailed beast will not refuse. Relatively speaking, what he needs is a psychic beast in support. Yeah. Orochimaru nodded slightly when he heard the words, took out a pen and paper and started writing. If water resource source group 6 5'6'6'18'8'9 6 preparation _use turn group 7 6 to 6 0 1 8 32 0. In the small courtyard of Uzumaki Mito is teaching at the moment. Uzumaki Kushina was cultivating, and was suddenly informed by the guard that Sarutobi Hiru was coming, so he asked Uzumaki Kushina to go back to the house to practice first, and then sighed silently. Before Sarutobi Hizen could sit down, Uzumaki Mito asked directly, "The Uzumaki family is gone?" Even though Uzumaki Mito was asking, his tone was extremely serious. Well, not long ago, Orochimaru received information that the 3rd generation of Reikage and the 3rd generation of Water Shadow attacked the Vortex village at the same time. Uchiha Kage pretended to be Danzo and used the technique of flying thunder gods to save the 9 members of the Uzumaki clan. Sarutobi Hizen also said helplessly. As for the Uzumaki family, Sarutobi Hizen also thinks that he has done his best, but he is too mortal. Even if it is him, there is not much to do. Could it be that he could still hug the other person's body, crying and shouting to keep the other person from dying? This is impossible. They Konoha and the Whirlpool family do not have such a good relationship now. However, Uchiha Kage is also real, pretending to be Danzo. Who is this fooling? Of course, it was impossible for Sarutobi Hizen to blame Uchiha Kage for this. Instead, he felt that Uchiha Kage had done a great job. The people of the Uzumaki family generally have good physical fitness, and there are more chakras than ordinary people, and they are good at using sealing techniques. In the future, these orphans of the Whirlpool family can also shine in Konoha. Are there still 9 people alive? Uzumaki Mito was also surprised. Originally, Uzumaki Mito had already prepared for the Uzumaki family, which has since become history. There is no way. Who makes his eldest nephew really too wise? Well, I don't know. How many other people can survive? but only 9 people can return to Konoha, Sarutobi Hizen said apologetically. For the old man in front of him, he truly respected him from the bottom of his heart. Even, his respect for Uzumaki Mido is even higher than that of his teacher, Senju Tobarama. It was also for Konoha who gave everything, and what Uzumaki Mido endured was obviously more. How many people can sit and live in a small courtyard for 20 years and hardly go out? Uzumaki Mido has blocked himself since he became the Nine-Tails Pillar Force, even if everyone knows that Uzumaki Mido is the perfect human Pillar Force, and there is no need to worry about the Nine-Tails runaway. But Uzumaki Mido still didn't move around, and she even counted the number of times she went out with both hands. When Sarutobi Hizen and the others were in danger, he himself was awarded the position of the third-generation Hokage by his teacher, Chisho Tobarama. But at that time, the teacher Senju Tobarama was already dead, and there was no evidence that he was the third Hokage recognized by the second-generation Hokage the day was cut. Many people can see this, and only Danzo thinks that he is only a little late to express his position, so he did not become Hokage. In fact, how can the selection of Hokage be decided in just a few words? If at that time it was really Danzo who proposed to cut off the post, I am afraid that Chiensho Tobarama would really say, then the people behind, I will ask you, Danzo. You are the hero of Konoha. After returning to the village, Konoha was windy and rainy, and many people wanted to compete for the position of Hokage at that time. The war was not over, and the village was fighting for the power of Hokage again, and Konoha was almost disbanded. In the end, Uzumaki Mido stood up to preside over the overall situation, created conditions for Hiruzen Sarutobi, won the support of many people, and finally became the third generation of Hokage. After that, Uzumaki Mido went to the battlefield and used the power of the Nine Tails to suppress other countries. Now, Uzumaki Mido's family is in danger, and she did not use relationships and power to oppress herself, which made Hiruzen Sarutobi even more guilty. 9 people are already very good, including me and Kushina. There are 11 people. At least the Uzumaki family has not completely disappeared. Uzumaki Mido sighed and said, the people who escaped should also be yes, a traitor whose bloodline will continue. I will guarantee the continuation of the bloodline of the Uzumaki clan. Sarutobi Hizen hurriedly assured, I'm sorry about the Vortex Village, Konoha is not what I said, I'm not the first generation teacher, I can't have that kind of thing. His appeal is not a second generation teacher, with such an authoritative authority. Compared to them, what I did was too bad. Please ask for flowers, ask for a monthly pass, ask for an automatic subscription, I love you. Episode 129, no need to feel guilty. Sarutobi Hizen is not self-pity, but the words from the bottom of his heart. In his opinion, his Hokage is really not good enough. What you have done is good enough. Back then, the Konoha building was going to collapse, and it might even be torn apart at any time, but if you did it well, the previous Konoha was somewhat inadequate, but over the years, there have been more and more civilian ninjas, and the family's the right to speak has also begun to diminish. Although the family still has too much power, this is something that cannot be changed. After all, Konoha itself is a village where many families gather. Over the years, there have been countless civilian ninjas who have been cultivated in your hands. Although I do not agree with you very much, you have divided the power of Naruto, but it is undeniable that if the future Naruto does something wrong, those people can also stop Hokage from making mistakes, but those people are also selfish. Mentioning this matter, Uzumaki Mido also shook his head. Uzumaki Mido has already seen Danzo and their problems. For now, it's fortunate that Sarutobi Hizen can suppress them, but in the future, what is wrong with Hokage, or the right to speak is not enough? The Hokage came to power, and these people will also become the constraints of Hokage. In the eyes of Uzumaki Mido, these are the hidden dangers of Konoha today. However, he just didn't bring it up. It's too early to mention it now, and the power of the family is too great. If there is a riot, Konoha may also cause a riot. Largest family in Konoha, the Uchiha family, has not been solved yet. Before solving the problems of the Uchiha family, at least before Uchiha can recognize Konoha, the family's problems are difficult to solve quickly. Is that so? Sarutobi Hizen laughed at himself, but he didn't think he did a good job. But thinking about other people carefully, Danzo shouldn't be able to do this, right? With Danzo's character, if he were to become Hokage, Konoha would be really messed up. Is good at everything, but it's not suitable for being a Hokage. By the way, Shadow has mastered the Immortal mode. Then Sarutobi Hizen said in a meaningful way, he knew that Uchiha Kage's Immortal mode came from Uzumaki Mido. This, I know. However, he is still too far away from the column. Uzumaki Mido waved his hand. The Immortal mode has a huge increase in human beings, but if your own body is not strong enough, then even if it is the Immortal mode that is turned on, and it will not be too powerful. However, he can already fight Hanzo. Speaking of this, Sarutobi Hizen also said proudly, although it's just swordsmanship, but thinking about it, it's only a matter of time before he steps into our level. What he lacks is fighting. Uzumaki Mido looked up at the sky and said with some sigh, in the beginning, whether it was Madara or Hashima, they grew up through countless battles since childhood, and Shadow has talent that is not inferior to them, but without their experience, this is actually a good thing for Ing. However, the Second Ninja World War is about to begin, so get ready, the days of peace are over. I hope they can persevere. Sarutobi Hisen's heart was also a little uncomfortable, but he also understood that this was unavoidable, which was almost doomed when the Land of Earth declared war on the Land of Rain. Especially when Yin Nin and Mist Nin attacked the Vortex Village, it can be seen that a large number of people were stationed on the border of the Country of Fire. Because of the relationship with some children, Uchiha Kage and the others slowed down after returning to the Country of Fire, and finally everyone had to carry a child on their backs. It took 2 days for them to return to Konoha again. Uchiha Kage did not go home first, or went to the Hokage office to report, but went directly to the small courtyard of Uzumaki Mido with a few children of the Uzumaki family. Coming to the small courtyard of Uzumaki Mido, Uchiha Kage was still a little uneasy in his heart. In fact, he can still save more people when they went to Vortex Village before they took the initiative to slow down. The children of the Uzumaki family don't know this, but Uzumaki Mido must know. Uzumaki Mido has always been very good to himself, to be honest. He is a little embarrassed to face Uzumaki Mido. Whether or not he can save the Whirlpool clan is not particularly meaningful to him in Konoha. Does Konoha lack people from the Uzumaki family? Not missing. Candidate, Konoha actually had other candidates, but they didn't have a choice. In Uchiha Kage's view, there is no such need anymore. Isn't it the Uzumaki family? Are my future descendants still inferior to the Vortex clan? Directly create an Azura and Indra, there will be no problems at all, okay? After sending these children to Uzumaki Mido, Uchiha Kage was called aside by Uzumaki Mido alone. Are you feeling guilty? Well, there are a few. Yukihage nodded slightly. Actually, you don't need to do this, you've done enough. If it wasn't for you, none of these children would come to Konoha. Uzumaki Mido looked at the child who was surrounded by Kushina and kept crying. I had this hunch since they were unwilling to join Konoha. Please ask for flowers, ask for a monthly pass, ask for an automatic subscription. I love you. Episode 130 Kushina, father? What father do you want? Uchiha Kage opened his mouth and was a little confused at this time. Shouldn't he be the one to comfort Uzumaki Mido? In the end, it was Uzumaki Mido's turn to comfort himself. Is that what grandma is good for? It's a pity that this world is not the world of immortality, and Uzumaki Mido is indeed too old. Of course, Uchiha Kage is more of a love for Uzumaki Mido. What you have done is good enough, facing hundreds of Yun ninjas and Mist ninjas at the same time, plus Raikage and Shueying. Even monkeys are in danger of falling, and in the end you saved these children back, which is already commendable. Then Uzumaki Mido continued, and the number of children you rescued is almost just right. If there are more, I am afraid some people will not be able to sit still. Although I am here, they will not have too much gossip, but some trouble after all, isn't it? Immediately afterwards, Uzumaki Mido continued, what's more, I also know something about what Zeno did some time ago. It was the Uzumaki family that was sorry for Konoha first, not the Konoha who was sorry for the Uzumaki family first. Uchiha Kage also nodded silently when he heard the words. To a certain extent, he was also a pusher when he got to the back. He wanted to save people, but the other party started killing people directly. In order to prevent others from getting the bloodline of the Vortex clan, he was also a trick. Is your heart dark? Not that, as a ninja, for the benefit of his own village, this is a routine operation, but I'm just a little sorry for Uzumaki Mido and Kushina. As for the other Vortex clan, they are not related to themselves. He even saved a lot of people. Even at that time, if he could help, Uchiha Kage would not miss it. It just didn't save him in the end. Son, you have done enough. Uzumaki Mido chuckled and said, maybe you think you can do better, but in my opinion, you have done enough. At least you did it, didn't it? For those illusory things, you have experienced too little now, and you will gradually understand everything in the future. Life itself has many regrets. When I died in Hazuma, I felt very sad when Tsunade and Naoshu's father sacrificed to protect Konoha. I was even more sore and wanted to leave with them. I've come over these things, and you don't have to feel sorry for us. Whirlpool Village is gone, but the Whirlpool family still exists. This is the best result. Uchiha Kage nodded slightly when he heard the words. He just felt a little sorry for Uzumaki Kushina and Uzumaki Mido. As for whether he saved the Uzumaki family, he didn't care too much. Just like their mission, if you can rescue a few Vortex clans, you can rescue a few. If you can't do anything, you don't do anything. Starting from the mission, Uchiha Kage has already exceeded it. Looking at the appearance of Uzumaki Mido, in fact, Uchiha Kage's performance has already satisfied her. After all, since the Warring States period, countless families have been destroyed, and now that the Whirlpool family is gone, it does not seem to be an unacceptable thing. Uzumaki Mido has seen too many things. Maybe she has already made preparations for the extermination of the Uzumaki family? You just not getting enough exposure? Originally came to apologize, but it turned out to be the old lady to comfort herself. When Uchiha Kage returned to the small courtyard again, Uzumaki Kushina directly rushed up and hung on Uchiha Kage's body. That's great, Kage, this time, I really thank you. If, water capital? Source, Group 6, 5, 6. 6, 1 to 8, 89, 6 preparation, use, turn, group, 7, 6 to 6. 0 foot 18 3, 2:00. Sorry, I didn't save your father. Uchiha Kage said a little embarrassedly. However, I didn't find out before that this little girl, Jixinai, has also grown up. If it's a few more years, can this be eaten? Well, people with chakra talent in Naruto world and people without chakra talent are actually not the same kind of people. At least people with chakra talent have more cells. With chakra has 130 trillion cells in his body. People who cannot refine chakra have only 40 trillion to 60 trillion human cells. Relatively speaking, it is normal for girls with chakra to develop earlier. Mikoto seemed to have also started to grow taller, almost as tall as herself. This is an annoying thing. It doesn't matter, it would be great if you could come back safely. Uzumaki Kushina said, Father? Does she have that kind of thing? She wouldn't recognize that after her mother died, she directly found a new wife, and then sent herself to Konoha. Is it her father? It is true that in Konoha, she had a very good life. Mito's grandmother was very kind to herself, and Aang and Mikoto were good people, but she will not forget that she was sold by her father. Seeing Uzumaki Kushina's heartless appearance, Uchiha Kage's mouth also twitched. So what was he worried about before? Neither Uzumaki Mito nor Kushina seemed to take Uzumaki Sawano to heart, so, how failed is this person as a human being? Ask for flowers, ask for a monthly pass, ask for an automatic subscription. Yeah, I love you. 3. Episode 131, The Support of the Elders? Well, I'm going to the teacher's place now. I'll try to come over at night to cook dinner for you. After thinking about it, Kage Uchiha patted Uzumaki Kushina's back for comfort. After that, Konoha should form a new Uzumaki clan at that time. Uzumaki Kushina will also be the best choice for the patriarch after all. Her talent is indeed the best among these people. What's more, there is Uchiha Kage as the backing of Uzumaki Kushina, which is naturally understood by Uzumaki Mito. Okay, you must come. Speaking of food, Uzumaki Kushina was also excited and said quickly, yeah. Uchiha Kage touched Uzumaki Kushina's head, then nodded to Uzumaki Mito, then left here and went to Hokage's office. When Uchiha Kage came to Hokage's office, he found that there were not only teachers, Sarutobi Hizen, Jiraiya, Orochimaru, and Shirogane, but also Koharu and Mito Minyen, who were also sitting here at the moment. Seems to be discussing something. Kage, you're here. Go and sit. Sarutobi Hizen saw Uchiha Kage's arrival with a satisfied look in his eyes, and pointed to the sofa beside him. Originally, after Uchiha Kage returned to the village, he should have come to him to report as soon as possible, but he was the first to go to Uzumaki Mito, and Sarutobi Hizen was not angry because of it. Even think that Uchiha Kage is a person who knows how to be grateful. To be honest, Mito-sama taught Uchiha Kage more than he taught Uchiha Kage. To a certain extent, it is not an exaggeration for Uchiha Kage to call Mito-sama a teacher if it is true. The first generation of Hokage is Uchiha Kage's teacher. Uchiha Kage is actually the same generation as himself. Ahem, it can't be calculated like this. Uchiha Kage is his own disciple. Sarutobi Hizen himself is a person who pays attention to feelings. He likes feelings and fetters, and he trusts them. Of the will of fire, on the contrary, in some places, Sarutobi Hizen doesn't particularly care about certain rules and regulations. This can be seen from the characters of Jiraiya, Tsunade, and Orochimaru. These three people are still abiding by the big rules, they are still informal at some point. This is all inherited from Sarutobi Hizen. He pays attention to the will of fire and believes that ninjas are also human. It's just that he also knows that ninjas have too much darkness. This is a very contradictory person. However, when facing his own people, Sarutobi Hipsan will show more emotional side. Uchiha Kage's behavior is obviously recognized by Sarutobi Hipsan. Yeah. Uchiha Kage said quickly. We've already heard from White Fang and the others about the general situation of this mission. Whether it's the Land of Rain or the Uzumaki village, you've done a great job. Hizen Sarutobi was the first to respond to Uchiha's actions. In conclusion, otherwise, it would be bad for someone to trouble Uchiha Kage with some things in the future. Where there are people, there are fights. Some people want to see Uchiha's unlucky shadow, and many people want to drag Sarutobi Hiru into the water. This is what I should do, but I am a little worried about whether the Kingdom of Water and the Kingdom of Thunder will go to war with our Konoha because of this. Uchiha Kage said embarrassedly. In fact, what he killed before was pretty cool, plus the ninjas killed by the shadow clone. This time, he killed at least 40 or 50 people in the Vortex village under the circumstances. If there were no Mizukage and Reikage, Yukihage said that he would really be able to kill the combined forces. There were many people on the opposite side, but he had more chakras, and their chakras were not as many as Yukihage alone. Of course, it doesn't mean that the more chakras, the stronger the fighting power. Otherwise, the 12-year-old Naruto is already invincible in the ninja world. Uchiha Kage's shadow clone is not comparable to Uzumaki Naruto's shadow clone. Naruto's shadow clone dissipated at the first touch, but that was because Uzumaki Naruto's own body was not strong and chakra could not be manipulated after he mastered the nine-tailed chakra. Each of Naruto's shadow clones has the power of shadow. Uchiha Kage's shadow clone is naturally inferior to Naruto's shadow clone in the later stage, but there is no problem with fighting Chunin. It can be said that today's Uchiha Kage, a person is an army. However, the backlash of the shadow clone is indeed very painful. Even Uchiha Shadow expressed it very uncomfortable. You don't need to care about this. Everyone knows that if the Kingdom of Thunder and the Kingdom of Water really start a war against us, it's not your relationship. At this time, Xiaochun took the lead and said, what's more, the alliance between Vortex Village and Konoha still exists, and they destroy Vortex Village, and they are also hitting our Konoha in the face. Uchiha Kage also breathed a sigh of relief when he heard the words. In fact, he didn't know very well about the attitudes of Mito Kadoka and Chuan Koharu. Now it seems that Kanzuya Mito and Mito Kanzuya are very concerned about their own attitudes. The attitude is good. 18 seems to be his father. Even if he is dead, he still has face. As everyone knows, they still look at the face of Uzumaki Mito more, and even the people who are optimistic about Uzumaki Mito, so what else do they doubt? This is the heir to the Will of Fire. The two are actually related to the Chancho family. The wife of Mito Minyan is from the Chancho family. The Chancho family actually has a marriage relationship with many families. This is the so-called Chancho family is good at win over people. If Koharu and Mito Minyan were to go to bed, they would really be trash or something. After Tsunade became Hokage, they would really allow it. The two of them were nagging to themselves. Please ask for flowers, ask for a monthly pass, ask for an automatic subscription. Oh, so much I love you. Episode 132, I don't want to work hard. Uchiha Kage was also sighing in his heart. Mito's mother-in-law is really a good person. If he didn't get the trust of Uzumaki Mito, it would be almost impossible for him to mix so easily in Konoha. Indeed, no matter what, Reikage and Mizukage have gone too far this time. Mito Gateyen also agreed, we Konoha do not like war, but we are not afraid of war. Their Konoha is still the strongest ninja village on the bright side. The younger generation of powerhouses have also grown up, and they have absolutely no need to fear other villages. It's a pity it was hidden. In the attack some time ago, although Danzo survived, he suffered a lot of injuries, and I am afraid that he could not use 70% of his strength. Was a huge blow to Konoha. Well, the war will come sooner or later. Sarutobi Hizen nodded in approval, and then his face became strange. However, why do you want to fight like Danzo? He remembered that when Uchiha Kage used that ninjutsu technique, what changed was Danzo's appearance now. In the war with Mizukage and Reikage, Yukihage still looks like Danzo. How kind to Danzo. In the beginning, it was to frighten other villages and let them know that there was nothing wrong with Uncle Danzo. His strength is still strong. But it is a pity that he seems to have failed. Uchiha Kage said a little embarrassedly. In fact, at the beginning, he wanted to give Tuanzang hatred, and even said who was the peak at the end of Feng Dun, and when he encountered Tuanzang, it became empty. Pity that at that time, it was recognized by Suiying. To be precise, it was recognized by Madara Uchiha. For Uchiha Kage, this is also troublesome. A pity that I can't attract hatred to Danzo if his plan can be successful. If Danzo encounters Reikage or Mizukage, or even Kazekage in the future, wouldn't his head be broken? The strength of the 3 generations of Feng is also not to be underestimated. The teacher Sarutobi Hizen also analyzed the strength of many shadows for them. Among the current 5 shadows, the 3 generations of Mizuide should be the weakest. As for the other 4 shadows, their strengths are different. They are all good at different aspects. I dare not say that I can definitely defeat other shadows. For Sarutobi Hizen's evaluation, Uchiha is also very recognized. Don't look at Sarutobi Hizen in many fan novels, playing the role of various mentally disabled villains. It seems that the Uchiha family, as long as they open with Shakernian, you can easily kill Sarutobi Hizuchi in seconds. In fact, the strength of Hiruzen Sarutobi is still quite high at his peak. Hiruzen Sarutobi has the strength to kill other shadow-level masters. You must know that it is extremely difficult for shadow-level masters to really kill each other. At least they can run away. But Hiruzen Sarutobi possesses such strength. True that he cannot be compared with the level of Chancho Zhujian, but his strength is not inferior to the ordinary shadow. This also makes Uchiha Kage attach great importance to the 3 generations of Kazekage. Sure enough, because of the problem of human puppets, the strength of the 3 generations of Kazekage cannot be perfectly displayed. If the 3 generations of Kazekage went to find the trouble of Danzo, Yukihage would also be happy to see it happen. But it is a pity that the frame was unsuccessful. Well, this kind of idea is not bad, but they won't believe it whether it's Reikage or Mizukage. They have seen Danzo, and they even fought before. Turning to bed, Xiaochun sighed lightly and said, but, in the end, it is to let them know that among us Konoha, there are people who master the technique of Flying Thunder God, and their strength is quite good, which can make them jealous. Shadow, you have to continue to work hard. After that, you who master the magic of Fairy and Flying Thunder Gods will play a huge role in the war. Auntie Xiaochun, I don't want to work hard. Please support me. Uchiha glanced at the red envelope of instructions on Xiaochun's head, and said in a mysterious way. This sentence directly caused Sarutobi Hiruzen to stun them for a moment. They never thought that Uchiha Kage would actually say such rebellious words. Sarutobi Hizen, damn it, this kid, is there something wrong with his brain? Aren't your 2 little girlfriends sweet? Why do you still miss Xiaochun? Although Xiaochun is also very attractive, Mito Minyan, awesome, as expected of Monkey's disciple, even he has learned to pick up girls. Sure enough, Monkey's most optimistic brother 360 is Uchiha Shadow. Teach everything, go to bed, Xiaochun, Mirror Sun, what's going on? Could it be that he found something? Could it be that he already knew that when I was in love with Kagami and we were about to confess to each other, the Uchiha family arranged a wife for Kagome? Oh, that damn Uchiha. If there is a chance in the future, I must take revenge on Uchiha. In the end, for the stability of the Uchiha family, Jing finally chose to get married. It is said that the mirror's three-hooked jade is still for himself. Could it be that this incident was known to Uchiha Kage? What the hell is going on? However, should I teach this kid a good lesson? You are not someone you can tease casually, your father was not like this back then, just, mirror. Your son has become a real powerhouse, you should be able to rest in peace, right? He will get your revenge sooner or later, damn Uchiha. Do you really think we don't know anything? Please ask for flowers, ask for a monthly pass, ask for an automatic subscription, oh so much I love you. Episode 133, The Declaration of War between the Kingdom of Thunder and the Kingdom of Water. Ding! Congratulations to the host for opening the command red envelope and obtaining the power of Demacia. Is it tough? Is it fusion? Uchiha Kage was also surprised. It turned out to be the characteristic of the grasped Songluan, but he didn't know what effect this characteristic had on him. Could it be that you can quickly recover your physical strength and injury? It's just that in the current ninja world, how many people can beat him or even hurt him? What's more, his physical fitness is also very good. The template of Otsutsuki Yuki gives Uchiha Kage a strong vitality in the future if water? Resource? Source, group 6, 56, 61, 8, 89. 6. Preparation, use, middle, turn, Group 7, 66, 0, 1, 8, 3, 2, 0. Even if you are injured, you can recover quickly. Why can Qianchizujian do it, but he can't do it himself? Such a reward is somewhat tasteless for Uchiha Kage, but forget it, it is not bad to have such a reward. What if he is injured in the future? After all, he is not invincible yet. What's more, there is a limit to how strong his self-healing ability is. Isn't Senju Hashima too seriously injured because of the battle with Uchiha Madara, unable to heal, and finally gone? Maybe this tenacity will have some effect on yourself. Ahem, I'm actually joking, mainly because I fought with Hanzo first, and then with the 3 generations of Reikage and Mizukage I have suffered some injuries and need to train for a few days. Uchiha Kage was a little embarrassed, said. This sentence made several people nodded slightly when they heard the words. Indeed, whether it is Hanzo or the 3 generations of Reikage and Mizukage, they are all leaders in the current ninja world. Talented Yukihage is, he is still young. When they were at Yukihage's age, they were nothing but Chunin strength. Look at Yukihage, what did they do? Fought directly with the shadows of other villages. Although there are tricks in the immortal mode, the immortal mode also belongs to the shadow of Uchiha. No one said that it cannot be used when the immortal mode is fighting. It's very rare that Uchiha Kage can do this step. It is indeed as Uchiha Kage said, it is too difficult for him. Well, you can rest for a week after that. During this time, stand by my side. Sarutobi Hizen considered that Uchiha Kage's right hand had just recovered not long ago, and now he is fighting Hanzo and the others outside, do need a good rest. However, during this period of time, the so-called rest can't really rest, but needs to go to work after all. Uchiha Kage is a member of the White Fan team. Yes. Uchiha Kage curled his lips, but he also knew that this was already the biggest concession compared with other Umbu members. He was absolutely privileged, and he only had to follow Sarutobi Hizen just beside you, standing stupidly? This is impossible. Immediately afterwards, Sarutobi Hizen turned his eyes to Orochimaru, who was on the side. Orochimaru also understood what the teacher meant. He shook his head slightly and said, this time, Uchiha Kage is fighting apart from Uchiha Kage's arrogance. It didn't play a big role, and my injury is almost healed. Jiraiya, White Fang, do you want to be so direct? Are we shameless? Although this time, we did run errands and carried the children of the Whirlpool clan all the way, but we also contributed. Report. Suddenly an Umbu ninja rushed into Hokage's office, which surprised Sarutobi Hizen and the others, but did not blame the Umbu. They all knew that Umbu would not be reckless, and there must be something important happened. What's the matter? Sarutobi Hizen said directly without ink. There is a signal from the front that the Kingdom of Thunder and the Kingdom of Water have officially declared war on the Kingdom of Fire. Umbu said quickly. Sarutobi Hizen just nodded slightly when he heard the words, but he didn't panic too much. He had already prepared for this as early as when the war between the Land of Earth and the Land of Rain broke out. He arranged a lot of the ninja, went to each border. Although it is impossible to resist the army, it is no problem to resist for a period of time. Summon the high-level leaders of the major departments and the patriarchs of the major families to come to the conference room for a meeting, Sarutobi Hizen also said. Then he looked at White Fang and the others. White Fang, Jiraiya, Orochimaru, I'll give you 20 minutes to go home to prepare, and then you need to go to the battlefield. Yes. The 3 said quickly. Kenyon, Koharu, Konoha may have to ask you guys later. Immediately afterwards, Sarutobi Hizen looked towards Koharu and Mito Katoyen again. Wait, it's not your turn to go to the battlefield yet. Xiaochun said quickly. They all know the dangers of the battlefield. Sarutobi Hiruzen is Konoha's Hokage. If there are 3 long and 2 shorts, it is definitely a bad thing for Konoha. Let's go. Although our strength is not as good as yours, there should be no problem in defending against them. Mito Minyan nodded and said. Although their strength is not comparable to Sarutobi Hizen and Shimura Danzo, they are not bad after all. They are also the guards of Chiensho Tobarama, and they participated in the First Ninja World War, so they are not weak chicken. Please ask for flowers, ask for a monthly pass, ask for an automatic subscription. Oh, so much I love you. Episode 134. It is indeed the Langya list. Didn't we follow the teacher to the battlefield? After that, you helped me coordinate the major families and the ninjas in the village. If there is something you can't decide, ask Mito-sama. Sarutobi Hizen said in a serious tone. Feng Feng has already gone to the border near the Land of Water. White Fang, you are heading to the border of the Land of Water. While saying this, Sarutobi Hizen also turned his gaze to Hatake Sakumo. Yes. Hatake Sakumo didn't refuse, and was even eager to try because of the number of opponents and the wrong timing. He clearly encountered Mizukage and Reikage, but he couldn't fight against them for Hatake Sakumo. This is a pity, even if he knows that he is not the opponent of Mizukage and Reikage. Orochimaru, you and Jirai also follow me to the border of the Land of Thunder. Sarutobi Hibiki thought for a while and then continued, King, because of the start of the war, your rest has been temporarily cancelled. I have a mission for you. Uchiha Kage, %#. At hashtag. Melf, 1 by 1, didn't you say you should give yourself a period of time to cultivate yourself? Why did you just give me the task? I saw Sarutobi Hizen while writing and drawing on the task book, and said to Uchiha Kage, you who have learned the technique of flying thunder gods are now regarded as the fastest ninja in the ninja world, and at the same time turn on the immortal mode after that, you have the strength to challenge the shadow. I need you to infiltrate the country of wind to investigate the information of the country of wind. Yes. Uchiha Kage didn't reject this either. At this time, he also knew that he couldn't reject it. However, is it really good to just let yourself infiltrate other countries? As Umbu, how to enter other villages to investigate information, Umbu seems to have not taught himself. Is difficult to kill all the people who see him. In this case, he is the perfect sneak. Sarutobi Hizen's words also surprised Koharu and the others. Is it really appropriate to leave such a task to Kage Uchiha? Course, there is no doubt about the strength of Uchiha Kage, but if one gets it wrong, it is easy to cause a war between the two sides. However, soon, they thought that Sha-Ren was not idle during this time, and continued to enter their country of fire to inquire about news. Even Tsunade was dispatched to the border of the Land of Winds by Sarutobi Hizen. Obviously, war seems to be a matter of time. Sarutobi Hizen was writing the mission book while scolding in his heart. I don't know who killed the mirror, who attacked Danzo. Don't let me know who did it, or I will never forgive you. If Kagami and Danzo are still there, where do you need Uchiha Kage to do these things? What? Danzo isn't dead yet? Oh, that's fine. However, Danzo's injury and the attack on his roots made Hiruzen Sarutobi very dissatisfied. Soon, Sarutobi Hizen handed over the task book to Kage Uchiha, and told him, go home and rest for a while, give you 5 hours of rest, and then immediately go to the border of the Land of Wind. Everything follow the instructions in the task book. Yes. Uchiha Kage didn't reject this either. He just took the task book and left. He just went out and checked the task book. The whole person was shocked. Should it be said that it is Mr. Sarutobi? Many fan fictions, the brainless blackmailing of him and all kinds of conspiracy theories are really not wrong. The teacher is really an old man. At least Uchiha Kage is ashamed. Is very efficient at work. Before Uchiha Kage returned home, he saw countless ninjas running wildly, and even a large number of ninjas left the village one after another. King, are you back? When Uchiha Kage just arrived at the door of her house, she saw Uchiha Makoto rushing out of her house with a cat-eye dog, and a smile appeared on her face. When Uchiha Kage went on a mission, she couldn't eat or sleep well, and was always worried about Uchiha Kage's safety. The last time Uchiha Kage went to perform a task, it was said that she encountered a tailed beast and was seriously injured. So this time, I won't meet the tailed beast again. So sad, right? Well, I just came back to wash up, and I have to go out of the village to do the task again. Uchiha Kage said helplessly. After several days of rushing tasks, even he would feel tired. He could have rested for a few days, but because of the declaration of war between the Kingdom of Water and the Kingdom of Thunder, his vacation was in vain. 1-to-1 Mizukage, Reikage, you're finished. Going out again? A hint of disappointment flashed in Uchiha Makoto's eyes. She also wanted Uchiha Kage to accompany her to practice in the days without Uchiha Kage. Even playing would be boring. Seeing Uchiha Makoto like this, Uchiha Kage's mouth showed a smile. She stretched out 2 fingers and tapped it on Uchiha Makoto's forehead. I'm sorry, Makoto. This is the last time. What are you doing? Seeing Uchiha Kage like this, Uchiha Makoto said with a slightly coquettish anger. The war has already started, and Makoto has to practice hard. I will fight for a while, and I will come back to see you. Uchiha Kage said, and took out another flying thunder god kunai and handed it to Uchiha Makoto. Remember, wherever you go, take this kunai with you. I have to go out to work tomorrow morning. It is estimated that there is no update in the morning, and I will update it at noon. Episode 135. Thank you, Kurama. War. Even Uchiha Makoto was shocked when she heard the words. She had never experienced war in the years when Uchiha Kage and Makoto were born. The first ninja war was over, but she didn't expect that this time Uchiha Kage came back and told her that the war had started. Are you going to the battlefield? Uchiha Makoto asked nervously. For an ordinary task, Uchiha Makoto believes that Uchiha Kage's strength should be enough to deal with those crises, but if he goes to the battlefield, it would be too dangerous? It's not really. Uchiha Kage smiled. Let's go. I promised Kushina to cook dinner for her before, and then I will go to the task again after the meal. I can also take a rest. Is that so? Let us go together. Although Uchiha Makoto was a little disappointed, she didn't refuse. Since Uchiha Kage was going to perform a mission, she couldn't stop her. She still feels more distressed for Uchiha Kage. She has just returned from the mission and has not much time. She has to go out to perform the mission, and even go to the battlefield. What a dangerous thing. If possible, Uchiha Makoto even wanted to stop Uchiha Kage from cooking for Uzumaki Kushina, and had a good rest. It's just that Uchiha Makoto also knows that it's impossible to stop Uchiha Kage. After the two came to Uzumaki Mito's hut, the atmosphere here was much better than before. Uzumaki Mito looked at Uchiha Kage in surprise. You child, why are you here now? You should go to the battlefield after that? Why don't you take a good rest? No, since I promised to cook food for Kushina, I must do it. A smile appeared on Uchiha Kage's face. In fact, his mission is difficult to say, and simple to say, that is, to disguise as Yunren and go to the country of wind to destroy. For this, Uchiha Kage will naturally not refuse. A dead Taoist friend will not die a poor Taoist. The conscience hurt by dragging the innocent Sand Ninja Village into the battlefield? Sorry, they are ninjas. What's more, is Sand Ninja Village really innocent? At this time, I am afraid they are already ready to participate in the war at any time, right? Not really difficult for Uchiha Kage to do this, as long as people can see that someone uses the lay-done chakra mode. As for whether he will be besieged by others, will he be besieged by others after entering the land of wind? Just kidding. The first speed in the ninja world, coupled with the powerful perception ability, unless Uchiha Madara himself shot, otherwise, who can kill him? You can go to rest. Uzumaki Kushina also said a little embarrassedly. Uzumaki Mito has told them that Konoha has started a war, and now Uchiha Kage has to sacrifice her rest time to cook for her, which makes Uzumaki Kushina a little uncomfortable. It's okay, just 2 hours of rest is enough. Uchiha Kage said with a smile. He has integrated the feature of toughness before. Whether this can allow him to recover quickly after an injury, Uchiha Kage does not know, and he has not tried it, but it can indeed help him recover his physical strength quickly. Of course, this does not mean that Uchiha Kage can continue to fight and hurry, and mental fatigue is unavoidable, unless it is a day when you really cultivate. Otherwise, it is really difficult to solve these problems. By the way, Kage, stretch out your hand. Suddenly, Uzumaki Mito said, huh? Although Uchiha Kage was a little suspicious, he still stretched out his hand, and then he saw Uzumaki Mito grabbing his wrist, and then a large amount of golden chakra emanated from Uzumaki Mito's body. Uchibo-ing could clearly feel that a powerful chakra entered his body,